गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. Science and technology is the discovery of the laws of nature, and technology is application of that knowledge in our life so that life becomes better. These are the two aspects. If the knowledge is not applied in life, it becomes only scholarship. And by being a scholar alone, life does not become meaningful. There are many scholars who are scholarly depressed. And their depression is, see, people don't take advantage of my knowledge. All old people have got this problem. Do you know, one of the signs of the old age, there are many of them, this is one sign. One of the signs of the old age is that he who has got all the answers for all the questions, but nobody asks him any question. Old fellow. So, when knowledge is carried as a load of scholarship, we suffer. And when the knowledge is utilized as wisdom in our own life, we enjoy. This is the basic difference between the erudite scholars and the saints and sages. So, what is the knowledge and what is the application? Knowledge is recognition of our being from the absolute standpoint. And application is recognition of the same absolute reality in and through the total relativity. See? Again I repeat. Remaining as space is knowledge, and recognition of the same space in east, south, north, west is application. See? So, in the absolute, the relative is superimposed, imagined. But the total of the relative is not the absolute. Absolute is far more than the summation of the relativity. When the perfect balance between the two is attained, then alone wisdom is lived in life. And this is what the teacher is trying to tell us in this 10th chapter. When he told yesterday, Name vidu suruganaha prabhavam na maharshayaha aham adirhi devanam maharshinam cha sarvashaha. May prabhavam, my being or my manifestation, my expression cannot be understood by the faculties with which we are understanding the world. The world is known by us through our faculties as the 5 perceptions. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. The sound, the touch, the form, the taste and the smells. These 5 things put together constitute the objective world. If a person doesn't have one faculty, for him there are only 4 kinds of perceptions. So, the world is valid and meaningful only if we are in senses. Isn't it? If we are nonsense, one lady phoned the doctor, please come, my husband is very serious. What happened? He has become nonsense. After marrying you, so all our faculties are responsible for giving us the objective knowledge. Now, this is one of the biggest problem all of us suffer in life. What is the problem? Problem is understanding everything objectively. See, when I study physics, chemistry, mathematics, botany, zoology or economics, calculus, integral, computer, everything is recognized, understood objectively. And with that habit of understanding everything objectively, we want to know the Lord with the name, with the form, with the taste, with the smell, with the feeling, with the understanding, with the concepts. And these are all the limitations of our faculty. I was in Pittsburgh, in the university after my lecture was over, that professor or somebody from the department came and asked. He said, you explained the concepts very well. You talk on all the concepts very clearly. I said, sir, I am very sorry, I did not talk on concepts. Are you a concept or you are a reality? You are intelligent is a concept. Isn't it? You are wise is a concept. You are honored is a concept. You are not recognized is a concept. You are a husband is a concept. It is not a reality. So, when we talk about the truth, with reference to the devas, our faculties, name viduhu. Nobody will be able to ever understand and recognize the absolute standpoint without giving up the hold on the relative standpoint. Very important. Name vidu suraganaha. Second thing, na maharshayaha. And so is the case with the maharshi. Here refers to the those who are able to contemplate and go beyond the usual perceptions. They also cannot, because they can only conceive. Only concepts are possible at the level of the contemplation. When conceptualization stops, then the truth is revealed. So, maharshayaha name viduhu. What is the reason? Because of me, the eyes are the eyes. Because of me, the ears are the ears. Because of me, the nose is the nose. Because of me, the mind is the mind. Because of me, the intellect is the intellect. And therefore, all of them are important in functioning subjectively. This is what we have seen yesterday. Now, after having said that nobody knows me, now see the beauty of this Bhagavad Gita. Now in the next verse he says, Yo mam ajam anadim cha vetti, he who knows me. First of all, you told that even the gods and the maharshis cannot know me. And now you say that those who know me, do you think we are superior than the gods and the maharshis? Yes. See? This is the beauty of this Bhagavad Gita. You know what happens? Whenever something is presented to us with easy availability, we never have the value and importance and the joy of having it. See, those people who have 20 choice on their dining table about the sweets, whether Cadbury or Dogberry or human berry or the donkey berry, there are many berries available for you to bury. Now, when you have all the time choice, you don't have the value of all that. But see, those poor kids who never get a chocolate to eat, Even if they get one chocolate once in a while, what a great joy they have in struggling how to open, because they don't know how to open that. And once they get it, ha ha, in the same manner. When the truth is discovered, therefore it is called as discovery. It is discovered, it is not available. It is available, but because of the covering of the ignorance, it is not revealed to us. So, the idea of the scriptures is not to present the truth straight away. Like it is said, Tattvamasi, you are that. What is our reply? You are that. You don't know me, what I am. You are that. Then you are told, go this way, that way, and struggle, and then suddenly you click, hey, I got it. And once you discover something on your own, you never lose that. See, the other day, I received one email, and they asked, Swamiji, I want to get a Shakti bath. Where should I go? I said, go to Shakti Samant and get Shakti bath. He said, no, but I don't know what it is. I said, when you don't know, why do you want it? No, they say we should have Shakti bath. Is it like having a mobile? Okay, I should have Shakti path. And then I explained, I said, look here. Shakti path is not something great. And don't run after that. Why don't you discover your own inner potentiality? And once you discover, you will be a real rich man. By borrowing, you can become rich only under Indian constitution, not reality. Isn't it? The success of our government is we could get more loan from the World Bank. See, third class thinking. So, instead of going to somebody and getting Shaktipat and he will come and touch you and then you start feeling, oh, I'm feeling very great, I'm feeling very good. The other day who came? One girl, I know her since when she was 6-7 years. Now she is in USA. She met me suddenly somewhere, out of the bloom, as if where she is, where I am. She came running. She said, Swamiji, where are you? I said, how come you are here in desert? I met her in Mandvi, Kutch. I said, how come you are there? Then she cried and all that, hugging and all that. And then I said, you come and spend the day with me, come in the evening back. So she came. After lunch, when I was sitting on my chair, I said, you also sit there. After 10 minutes, she started, Swamiji, I am unable to stay here. I said, what? I am feeling so much of vibrations of your presence. I said, am I vibrating you or what? She said, no, Swamiji. I have undergone this course, that course, so many courses. And then they have told us that when you come near a very strong, potent Mahatma, all your cells will start vibrating and your Kundalini will start raising. And I am feeling that. I am feeling that. I said, go out. Go to the bathroom, you will be all right. Please remember, discover the truth within. Don't be a victim of anybody's dependency or the slavery. Please remember this. So here the teacher is telling first that the Devas, the Rishis, your faculties, your mind cannot know the truth. And yet the teacher says, those who know me, means what? See the contradiction. When the contradiction comes, then we struggle. Hey, how come? So far this person was talking sense. Now suddenly he has become nonsense. What is the reason? It is something like, another example, why I am giving so much of time on this, to understand this basic point. When you are driving your car, very good road, no obstacle, no Indian traffic, cows, buffaloes, goats, human beings. So you are going straight away. And then you get drowsy, you get dull. In the same manner, when the thought is going so smooth, yes, very good, very nice, very nice. That is why in Katha, when the Mahatmas see that the majority of the people are having the lullaby effect, so suddenly, Siyavar Ramachandra ki jai. Isn't it? So it is not a remembrance of the Lord, but it is a reminder that you are here to listen, not to sleep. Now when you are studying, you cannot give this bang of Siyavara Ramachandra ki jai. Then what the scriptures do? They put a speed breaker on your smooth sailing. And when a speed breaker comes, you get a jhatka. Hey, what happened? In the same manner here, in the thought process so beautifully going, suddenly the teacher says, he who knows me, and just now we have heard that nobody can know me. Then you start thinking, if you think. Otherwise, ठीक है, भगवान ने कह दिया, ठीक है. No. So, now see the beauty. Yo mam ajam anadim cha vetti loka maheshwaram cha vetti saha asammudaha marteshu. Among the mortals, means among the living beings, he who is asammudaha. Asammudaha means he who is not the victim of two things. First is ignorance. An ignorant person is not a fool. He is only ignorant. Who is a fool? A fool is he who doesn't know but thinks that he knows. He is a fool. Now take the example of our Vedanta. In Vedanta, unless the snake and the rope is brought, the teacher is never happy. He leaves the snake for the disciples and the rope for him to hang. This is how the snake and the rope examples is there in Vedanta. So, when I do not know the rope as a rope, there is no problem. But when I do not know rope as a rope, but then I start projecting, probably it is a snake. And then all the problems come up. So, asammudaha means he who has recognized his own self perfectly well, and as a result of which he does not project relativity on the absolute. He is asammudaha. Please understand these basic concepts. In the infinite, finite is imagined. It is not real. Again, I will give you an example to make this point. Our earth is infinite from the earth's point of view. On this infinite earth, these latitudes and longitudes, these are not present. These are imagined. I remember as a child, that used to be my most serious thinking. How they must have drawn these lines on this. And I used to spend days and hours together. How they must have put. Maybe they must have taken a helicopter and gone like this, like that, But then in between the water comes. So on the water, what paint they must have used. All imagination. So all these lines on that infinite earth, they are imagined. They are not real. Take the example of our country. What was the map of India before Mahabharata war took place? Gandhari was from Afghanistan. Gandhari is still there, isn't it? And that's why the problem started. That is the origin of all the problems. Gandhari was the origin of all the problems. So, that was the map of India. As the time passed, then more imaginary lines are drawn. Like you cut the piece of bread and develop funny kind of figures, in the same manner, in the infinite, the finite can be imagined. If this is understood. then space is infinite, north, east, west, south is finite. The he whose attention is on the infinite reality, will he be ever influenced by the finite things? See? Gold is infinite. Wedding ring and divorce ring, they are imagined, they are not real. They come and go. Gold doesn't come, doesn't go. So, asammudaha means he who has recognized the truth from the absolute standpoint and therefore is not influenced by the relativity in operation, he is asammudaha. See? Once we understand this point, you will see life is the celebration. There is no frustration in life. So, he who is asammudaha, how he becomes so wise, the technique is given. Mam ajam anadim cha vetti. Now please remember, all the problems and solutions begin from the I. So he who recognizes me, meaning the self, as ajam anadim cha. Ajam unborn, anadim unending, cha unmodifying, three things. Now tell me, is it not our own experience? Ajam, we have no experience of our birth. None of us have the experience of our birth. Then, and we do not have the experience of our death. Third, we do not have the experience of our own self becoming modified. Nobody has the experience that I am growing. It is the grace of the people when they start addressing you as uncle and then dadaji and then nanaji, then out of formality you start accepting, okay, I think I have become old. But when you take your own experience, you never feel that you are growing. So this is what Bhagavan says. Yaha mam ajam anadim chavetti, meaning he who is very clear that neither I have born, nor I am growing, nor I am going to die, because these are all the modification with reference to the body and not to me. And is it not Sarvaloka Maheshwaram? Am I not this absolute I? Is he not the Maheshwara, the supreme Lord of all the waking experiences, all the dream experiences, all the deep sleep experiences, and yet untouched by the three kinds of experiences? How many times waking experiences have come and gone? Dreams have come and gone. Deep sleep has come and gone. But the supreme self that I is never modified, never disturbed. See how this beautiful thing is brought out. Now, do we know our presence through our eyes? Do we know our presence through our ears? Do we know our presence through our nose? No. Our presence is not known either through the medium of sense organs or through the medium of the thoughts. So this recognition of the self is independent of the senses and the mind. Now see how beautifully the whole thing is brought out. First what is said, your senses and the mind will never be able to know me. And now he says, he who knows me. So how we have to know? Only when you discard, you transcend the limitations of the mind, intellect and the senses. Then alone the truth is discovered. How important. Dream is discovered as a dream when we are out of the dream. Nobody dreams a dream as a dream. Dream is always dreamt as a waking experience. We label that experience as a dream after waking. The same thing is true with reference to this waking dream. We imagine that this waking dream is the reality. But he who has awakened to the absolute self that we are, from that point of view, as now we as waker, when we look towards our dream, don't we laugh that I was rich or I was poor, I was attacked or I killed somebody? We only laugh at it. In the same manner, a wise person who has recognized asammudaha, his absolute being, for him, the waking experience is equally a fun as watching a cartoon show on a TV screen. See, friends, once your attention is thus drawn to this absolute reality, what will happen? One, the victory and defeat as a result of gain and loss, as a result of which the joy and the sorrows, all these three pairs will disappear from your life. And we will come to the point of perfect equanimity. When we are in this perfect equanimity, samatvam yoga uchyate. And this is possible only when we are able to look at the world from the absolute standpoint. From the relative standpoint, there is no problem that can be solved. Please remember this basic thing in life. And from the relative standpoint, problems cannot be solved. Absolute standpoint, no problems are to be solved. So if we want to get out of the problems of life, change your standpoint. Ishavasya first mantra. Ishavastyamidam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjita magrudakkasya siddhanam. When you have this vision, the whole world is nothing but my own expanse. From that point of view, when you look at the world will never be a problem. Therefore, here the teacher is giving us this technique. He who recognizes himself as the Ajam Anadimcha Loka Maheshwaram, the one because of whom the waking is possible, dream is possible, and the deep sleep is possible. See, one day one lady asked me this question. Swamiji, why I am having so many problems? I said, I congratulate you because you have got problems. Physical problem, mental problem. I must congratulate you. Why you are congratulating me? I said, because you are alive. A dead person does not have the knee problem. Isn't it? A dead person doesn't have migraine. A dead person does not have dysentery or diarrhea. A dead person cannot suffer from the cancer. So if you are having this thing, you deserve congratulations because you are still alive. See? There used to be a great master here in Bombay, Nisargadatta Maharaj, if you have heard his name. Toward the end of his life, he was having cancer of his throat. And when everybody used to go and again console and talk all the same stupid things, in that painful, miserable experience, what he said, don't tell me that I am suffering from cancer, but I am cancer. See? Without this I, even cancer does not have the existence. Health and disease is supported by that absolute which is beyond health and disease. how true it is. Is it not? The joy and the sorrows are possible only because of this light of consciousness. The gain and the loss is meaningful only when we are alive, not otherwise. So when our attention is thus focused straight away squarely on the supreme absolute being, what will happen? Be very attentive. At this stage, what happens? If I get something, I am very happy. If others get something, I become jealous. Isn't it? Now, your experience is that whether I am getting or others are getting, it is my gain alone. Isn't it? Whether somebody comes and put the bribe in the right pocket or puts the bribe in the left pocket. Samoham sarva bribeshu. As long as they are my pockets, it's okay. Two may be for you, but for me it is the same. And therefore, you will see the wise people are never jealous of anybody. They are happy in the happiness of others. This is one technique I told you long time back, if you remember. If you want to be eternally happy like I am, learn this technique. Be happy in the happiness of others. You don't have to invest anything. People struggle for happiness, they invite you, you enjoy. For example, the marriages. So the happiness part is on the first day of marriage. That time you should be there. Afterwards, let them continue. Till then, second fellow gets married. You are still there. See? If you take this standpoint, your whole life will change. He is called as asammudaha samardeshu. And yo mam ajam anadim chevetti loka maheshwaram chevetti. He is among the living beings. He is the wisest of all of them. And as a result, sarva papaihi pramuchyate. Now here the word sin has to be properly understood. You know, normally this word sin is understood from three standpoints. One is from the standpoint when we are living as body. Second, the word sin is interpreted when we are living as the jiva or as the soul. And third, the word sin is understood from the point of view of the absolute. The first two, living as body and living as a soul, is in the field of relativity. And living as the absolute or the pure self is in the field of absolute. So these are the two classifications. Now, when I am living as a body, for me the definition of sin will be, I should not hurt others. If I hurt others, it is a sin. So, ahimsa paramo dharmaha. In South Africa, one person asked me this question, was Gujarati. South Africa is infested with Gujarati, right from Mahatma Gandhi's time. So, one Gujarati in a club asked me this question. Swamiji, your Mahatma Gandhi says, if somebody gives one on your one cheek, you should present the other. What do you have to say? I said, I don't know what you have understood. I have understood. If somebody gives you one, and if that buddy wants to give another one, take somebody else's cheek. Don't take your cheek. Oh, just like that. See, ahimsa or any sin or merit will have a different meaning when we start living as body. Now, when I start living as a soul, as a jiva, then the meaning of the sin is different. And the impact of the meaning of the sin also will be different. Now you see, many people you must have heard telling, oh, in this world there is nothing like heaven and hell. Everything is here. If you do good, you will be benefited. If you do bad, you are suffering. So there is nothing like heaven and hell. Everything is in this world while living in this body. Such people are rooted in the body identification. They are not wanting to grow beyond this. And for such people, what is the sin? What is the merit? All that which will protect your body is sin. All that which will disturb your or somebody's body is a super sin. That's all. So, the sin and the merit definition differs. Now, when I consider myself to be Jiva, then what do? I transcend the limitation of the present body and have better hope. That if I have all the problems in this life, it is because of my own doings in the last life. Now, in this life, I will live properly. As a result, I will have less sins. As a result, my next life will be better. So when I start living as a Jiva, my life's orientation starts changing. And then what is our lifestyle? Lesser the sins, better is the life. More the sins, worse is the life. This is the equation. Now the real meaning of sin, please understand. This real meaning of sin is given in Valmiki Ramayana, where it is said, and this is so scientific. Anyatha santam atmanam anyatha pratipadyate. We are something, but we pretend to be something. This pretending to be something is the highest forgery. Today's paper, there was some topic about forgery. So what we are? We are essentially the absolute reality, but we start living as a relative being. This is the sin. We are actually a man, but start living as a husband. This is the sin. Live like a man, don't live like a husband. Means what? Be happy in spite of the wife. Then you are a real man. Isn't it? Don't justify, Swamiji, you get married and show us. Then that is a sin. See? It's very simple. Essentially, we are the absolute reality because we have seen that Yo mam ajam anadim cha loka maheshwaram vetti. He who recognizes himself the unborn, ungrowing, undying reality presiding over all the experiences of the waking dream and the deep sleep. To that absolute reality, how can we reduce him to a miserable entity suffering because the wife or the husband? Is it not ridiculous? This ridicule in our life is created because the absolute is reduced to the relative. But we forget, absolute can never have the limitations of relativity unless we cooperate with the relativity and are happy to be miserable. Very, very clear. So what is the real sin? The real sin is only one. Not recognizing your own essential nature. Once you recognize this truth, the life is lived through us. Once we recognize this conscious reality that we are, then this conscious reality is functioning through the body, but not as the body. This conscious reality is functioning through the prana, but not as the prana, the dynamism. This conscious reality is functioning through the mind, but not as the mind. Like electricity is functioning through the bulb as light, but through the bulb. It is not living as the bulb. The same electricity is functioning through the fan as the magnetic field. Electricity is not living as a fan. And therefore, when a bulb is fused, when a fan is out of order, nothing happens to the electricity or the expression of that electrical energy in other points of expression. And therefore, death has no sanctity in the absolute reality. Once you recognize this, sarva papaihi pramuchyate. You are liberated from all the sins. And this is the highest sin. Being immortal, fearing for death, being the embodiment of knowledge, getting deceived by others or deceiving others, being the abode of bliss, struggling to get the bliss from the world and gathering the blisters, this is sin. Very important. Therefore, now the conclusion of all this discussion. The more miserable we are, the more sinful we are. Our Bhagavad Mahapuran gives a very beautiful description. When somebody comes, say he has gone to the fish market and struggled a lot, and after that come. Immediately you know, isn't it? Excuse me, have you come from fish market? How do you know? No, from the sugandha that you have all around. From the fragrance. Is it not? In the same manner, he who has been living in the hell before being born as a human being, he is cranky, he is angry, he is frustrated, and he doesn't like happy people. Because he has been living in hell for a long period. Please remember, you never go to hell for 10 minutes. You go there for a long time. Because balance is lot. So, the real sin is being miserable. And the real freedom from the sin is being happy. This is only one spiritual practice you do. Nothing special is required to be done. Remember, I had never told you to take a mantra and suffer. The real mantra, the real scientific approach to life is we are here to allow the divine bliss to manifest through us, rather than struggling to get happiness from the world. Take an example. If I am trying to gather happiness by talking to you, after you praise me, I will be always suffering and depending on you. But if my speech is an expression of the divine bliss that I am, you may suffer, but I'll enjoy. See? Be very clear about it. And if you do not practice this, the teacher says, you are the sinner of the highest order. The real sin, therefore, is living in the relativity and giving the status of reality to the relativity is the sin. But once we understand that this relative drama is just a drama, then there is no problem. The best example that can be thought of is when the actor is functioning on the stage through the roles of various characters. One moment he is a sinner, killing somebody. The other moment he is loving somebody. The third moment he is a teacher. The fourth moment he is a frustrated lover. All these things that he is doing every role so perfectly well. Yet he knows he is none of them. Because when he knows he is none of them, that does not mean he does not play the role perfectly well. See? On the contrary, when you know that you are not in reality the husband, but you are only playing the role of a husband, you will never become miserable. Husbands become miserable when they carry the load of possession of the wife. The wives become miserable when they carry the load of the possession of the husband. When you are carrying the load, you cannot be happy. Then how to look at the world? Take them lightly. So when the husband says, honey, I love you, so okay, thank you. But don't imagine he's really loving you. Because he is also a victim. So, asammudaha samarteshu sarva papaihi pramuchyate. And friends, there is no any other option available to us. So what is the ultimate therefore now? One, recognize yourself to be the absolute reality. This is yoga. And function through the relativity as a game of life is your glory. See? When an actor is living all by himself without playing any role, he is in a condition of yoga. But when the same actor is presenting different roles on the stage, that is his vibhuti. You must have seen this standard lifestyle you see in the Western world, USA particularly. I went to somebody's house. On the wall, there were pictures of the same person, about 18 pictures in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I saw and I didn't ask. There is nothing to ask because the same useless face repeated. Swamiji, can you imagine what is this? I said, this is the graph of your foolishness. He says, Swamiji, don't discard us like that. Okay, tell what it is. These are the pictures of my son. And my God, you have got 18 of them? No. Only one. Ekameva Ditiya. Then why so many pictures? See what we have done. Every birthday, a picture fixed there. Second birthday, second picture fixed there. Third birthday, third picture fixed there. So, that boy is one, yoga. And these are his 18 pictures, vibhuti, isn't it? Now, will we say that out of these pictures, only the one which is 1 month, year old, I like him. Others I don't like him. No. See how clear it is. In the same manner, we all are the same reality. We have supported the childhood, the teenage, the adolescence, the not so old. I think becoming middle age, they call me old. These are the different stages through which we go. Now I have also started feeling old. All these things are my vibhuti. Once we recognize these two ways, from the absolute standpoint and from the relative standpoint, this alone is the correct and the ultimate. Paramam vachaha, Bhagavan says, this is the ultimate, there is nothing more to be known. So, sarva papaihi pramuchyate. After having given this basic, so these first 3 verses, that is the foundation of the 10th chapter and also the foundation of living the life most scientifically. See, there is one of my amma in Australia, not very old, she is in her 30s or so, and she is working in a hospital as a, receptionist. Our Indian girl, last about 5-6 years. And everybody in that whole hospital is surprised to look at her. Not even once from the day she joined, she has been miserable or frustrated even once. And they all are waiting. At least one day she will be frustrated and miserable. And that is increasing their frustration. What you Indians, we don't know what you do. How come you don't get disturbed? And with the same husband. We tried so many. See? If we are very clear about our life, then the foundation is the firm one. So what is the clarity? Please hold on to this. Live as absolute, function in the relativity without getting the scratch of relativity. Like the space does not have the demarcations of the north, east, west, south. Where are those demarcations? Those demarcations are in our mind. In the same manner, I am happy, I am miserable. Who is supporting this demarcation? The same Supreme Reality. And in the Supreme Reality, these demarcations of relativity have no existence, no place whatsoever. Once we recognize this standpoint, you will be all the time cheerful and happy like Bhagwan Sri Krishna was. Never there was a time in his life when he ever cried. Like in our time, never there is a time when we don't cry. We don't require any solid reason to be miserable. We are so content. We can be miserable with small little things also. In one of my series, you must have heard Choti Choti Baate. There I mentioned this. That none of us is miserable for great reasons. How many of us are miserable that we are not the President of the United States or we could not marry Marilyn Monroe? Nobody. Our misery is in the morning, the milk was not there, I had to take black tea. Then suffer. What a tragedy of life, you know. Can there be any more misery than this? See? So get out of all these small little things and come to discover the glory that you are. After having said this, now the teacher tells how this divinity expresses through us and what are the signs of expression of divinity or the otherwise. Fourth verse, he says, Buddhir jnanama sammohaha kshama satyam damashamaha sukham dukkham bhavo bhavaha bhayam cha bhayamevacha ahimsa samata tushtihi tapo danam yasho yashaha bhavanti bhava bhutanam matta eva pruthak vidaha. All these expressions are possible because of me, the Lord says. The water says, all the expressions of the ocean, the lakes, the clouds, the rivers, the tap waters, the dewdrops, the moisture, all are my expressions. This is not arrogance. This is the statement of fact. In the same manner, here the teacher says, all these things are possible, the variety is possible from this absolute one. Which are those? We'll explain them slowly, steadily, in detail. First, buddhi, jnanam, asammohaha, kshama, satyam, damashamaha, sukham, dukkham, bhavo bhavaha, bhayam cha, abhayam evacha, ahimsa, samata, tushtihi, tapo, danam, yasho, ayashaha. All of them are possible only because of me. Now, which are those? Now, these are all again technical terms. Please remember, whenever we are studying science, we have to study that scientific language alone. If somebody knows, like many people have that funny notion. Swamiji, I know Sanskrit. So, what book you suggest us to read Upanishad and Gita? See, Bhagavad Gita is not written in Sanskrit. Sanskrit is just a language used to communicate the philosophical depth. If you do not have the foundation of understanding the philosophical approach, then you will be getting carried away only by the grammar. Like I remember I used to have one teacher from whom I learnt a lot in Sanskrit. I used to ask him, I said, Shastriji, you know the thing so well, but you never come for any Upanishad class or any Bhagavad Gita class because you are so good in Sanskrit. You know what he used to tell? He said, I get bored there because when they are teaching, my attention is only on the grammar. Whether this is Lut Lakar or Lot Lakar, this is Parasmepadi or Atmanepadi, this is the first gun or the second gun or the fourth gun, and whether this is a correct usage or a wrong usage, what is the Panini Sutra involved, and I get lost in that so much that the subject matter is lost. Like a proofreader can never enjoy a book. Whenever he takes his only, I think there should have been, this happens with me. Whenever I take any book for reading, the first thing that comes is the proofreading. Tak, 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 and correct it. After it's corrected, then I feel, Kruta Krityascha Bharata. Now I have done my job. The book is not given to us for correcting the spellings. The thought is communicated. So here also, keeping this thing in mind, we'll read the same words. They are not just common words. What happens whenever some words are used too much, they become corrupted and their value and importance is lost. So here the common words are buddhi, intellect, translation. Jnanam, knowledge. Asammohaha, wisdom. Now these three words appear to be a very common usage, but they are not. Now let us take one by one. Buddhi is doubtless knowledge is gained when you interact with the knowledge that you have gained for the first time. When you hear anything, it is not necessary that by one listening we gather the correct import. Then what we have to do? We again reflect on that. They say that we are someone other than the body. We cannot be the body. The body is created by our parents. We have not created the body. So we cannot be the body. Then who am I? Now when you start accepting this fact that I cannot be the body, but I am someone other than the body, now unless this knowledge becomes doubt-free, you will not start living that knowledge. So this is the load of the simple-looking word called as buddhi. So buddhi is a technique by which the knowledge is made doubt-free. And who can do that? He who has, after having listened the scriptures or the knowledge from the teacher, has a sincere desire to free himself from all the possible doubts. Knowledge with doubt is ignorance. In the knowledge, there is no fractionization. Not possible. Can we say, I know the anatomy 90%. Let me try, I can operate. No, no, no. You have to know it 100%. Similarly, suppose you get somebody with a recommendation. Swamiji, please appoint him, he is a nice person. You can trust him more than 80%. Why more than, even if you say you can trust him up to 99%, that 1% doubt about trust is not worth keeping that person. Therefore, knowledge, when it is with even a trace of doubt, which will never be practiced by us. Therefore, the first principle, how the divinity expresses through us. The divinity expresses through us in the form of removal of the doubts by proper interaction with the knowledge, is called as buddhi. Technically, it is called as mananam, reflection. Then jnanam. What is the knowledge? Knowledge is when I do not know something, then I go to the teacher and collect the information. So the first time collected information about something is called as knowledge. And if we are not that bright enough that by listening only once, we gather the perfect knowledge, then for such dull-witted that we are, we require again and again practice. See, Vivekananda was once going and in a train, and he was seeing the dictionary. Now nobody reads dictionary. So there was an Englishman. He was looking at him and ridiculing. You want to show me that you know English? He said, no, I am studying. You know what you are studying? Yes, I know. So he took that. Up to here you are studying. Yes. He opened one random page and asked him, what is the meaning of this word? He said, you want only that word or all the words on that page? See? Do we have that memory? But once listening, you are able to absorb 100%. Friends, this is possible. Under one condition. When you are completely, totally, fully available to the exposure of the knowledge without even one fraction second deflecting the mind. It is something like standing before a steady, clean, perfect mirror. But when instead of the mirror, it is the water surface, and instead of the clean water, it is the muddy water, and instead of the steady waters, it is the shaky water. And there when you are standing and wanting to look into the water to see your reflection, how can we comprehend that properly? That is why first is when we gather the knowledge, we have to be very clear. That is why one of the most important spiritual practices, be very attentive. Learn this small thing. This is the highest scientific approach to life, I am telling you. Try. Whatever you do it wholeheartedly. I am not telling you what you do. Do whatever you like. But do wholeheartedly. Our problem is, when we are taking a cup of tea, that time we want to read the news. Sometime by mistake you take the newspaper here and look. Whatever. So we are practicing ourselves to remain divided all the time. And as a result, when we go for satsang, suddenly switch off. Why the switch off? Because the mind is trained. Wherever you are, there you should not be. See? Now if you learn this technique, if you are taking food, take food. Don't bother about anything. If you are sleeping, sleep. Don't bother about anything. When we go to sleep, we are worried about something else after waking up. So neither we can sleep nor we can wake up. When we are awake in the satsang, we go to sleep. Now see. Now this is not anybody's fault. It is our own training. And this becomes a habit after some time. Therefore, friends, scientifically living, spiritually living is not only the external decoration. Put on a full stop or have the different types of garlands so that you can be pulled by anybody anywhere. Or you have to be demonstrated in the society as he is this brand Babaji. No. It is a perfect subjective experience. So scientifically established. If you learn this art, whatever you do, be yourself there 100%. If you are able to do this, you are 24 hours in meditation. And such a person is able to comprehend the truth only by one exposure. This was the greatness of our Nisargadatta Maharaj. He heard his Guru once. Thereafter, everything changed only once. Not going 100 times and yet challenge to the Mahatmas, try to improve me. So many have come and gone. You also try. See, we have become professionals. How important it is. Therefore, friends, when we develop this faculty, you will see the most important thing that will happen. You will never be bored in your life. You know what is the boredom? Boredom is when you are exposed to something which you are not enjoying is called as boredom. And if you enjoy whatever you are doing, you will never get bored in life. For example, all of you, those who have come here on your own, not to please mummy, daddy or anybody, they are enjoying. Those who are tied down with a string and come today. Okay, I'll come. You may be thinking, Swami, why this example is being given? I don't prepare any examples. They come according to the requirement. So learn this simple technique. You will really succeed in your life. So, this is the expression of that absolute reality through us. So the first thing was buddhi, and the second thing was jnanam. So what we here comprehend in one go, then we are worth. Otherwise, the most pathetic experience of my life. The other day, this happened. One person came and he said, Swamiji, I listen to you on TV every day and I am so happy, but I have got one doubt. That day you told one joke. What is that joke? Will you please explain me? Hare Ram, Ram, Ram. To explain Bhagavad Gita is easier than to explain a joke. A person who requires commentary on the jokes, he is a joke himself. So, buddhi jnanam asammoha. The third one is asammoha. What is the meaning of asammoha? There are three things. One is we don't know. Second is we know but we have got doubt. Third thing is we know we don't have doubt, but somehow or the other we are not able to hold on to the wisdom for a long period of time. We get attacks of spiritual wisdom now and then. So sometimes we are wise. Most of the time we are otherwise. And then we'll feel bad, Sometimes I feel, I am growing spiritually. Everything is so nice. Suddenly, I don't know what happened. Again, everything goes to dog, and again the same thing, Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, wow. Anybody comes, we start barking. And then we feel, I think I have wasted my life in this spirituality. I should not have done. I have come across both types of people. Those grahasthas, they say, Swamiji, had you come in our life earlier, I would never have got into the married life. I said, anyway, better late than never. Agle janam mein mat shaadi karna. There are other people, Babajis. Swamiji, I think you are not understanding. You should make an ashram for you. Otherwise, where will you stay in your old age? I said, why do you want me to become old? Why shouldn't I leave this body when I am healthy and hearty? No, Swami, the world needs you. And if the world needs me, they will provide me the bed also. Isn't it? No, that is all philosophy. You should have your bank balance. You should have your house. And if you want, I can arrange for you. I said, oh, you are a broker. I said, my heart is already broken. I don't require any other broker. See, it is so important. If you are firmly established on this path, you will never have the ups and downs born out of the doubt about the knowledge, the wisdom, and the path indicated in the scriptures. You will never have a doubt. If you have a doubt, I am taking the name of Ram, 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 Ram. But lastly, somebody asked me this question, Swamiji, I am a Krishna Bhakta. I said, yes. But I do this Navratri, Devi Upasana, and you only told me go ahead. But now my friends are telling me that you should not do all these things. You are a Krishna Bhakta, you are a Pushti Marga, you should only eat. Pushti Marga means eat and become Pushti. You should not do this Devi Upasana, and you should not do that Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. That is contrary. Don't do that. Swamiji, what I should do? I said, what your thought? She said, Swamiji, I am getting confused. I said, look here. If you are doing it and if you are enjoying it, go ahead. But what about the people? I said, you are doing it for the people, for demonstration or for yourself? No doubt of any kind should be present in the mind. If you have got even this much of doubt, for example, you go to Siddhi Vinayak temple and you are a Krishna Bhakta and your mind is constantly chanting Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama, and you go before Lord Siddhi Vinayak, Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Sri Krishna nahi, Siddhi Vinayak, Swami ki Mama, Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama, again it goes back. And then we come back frustrated. I don't know what happened to me, what I should do. Now will Shivji or our Ganeshji will do something to me? Don't have any doubt. You are the beginning, you are the middle, and you are the end of all your experiences, good or bad. Hold on to that reality. So, Buddhi Jnanam Asammohaha. Asammoha therefore means continuity in the knowledge to be lived in our life without any compromise. That is Asammoha. No doubt, no compromise. When this we are able to do, then such a person in due time becomes so well established, then nothing thereafter can shake him away. Otherwise, we can be taken by people for a ride. One example I'll give you. Probably I gave it earlier. In one of the Western countries, one person came and asked me, do you believe in Jesus? I said, yes. So you are a Christian? I said, no. Then you are what? I said, I am a Hindu. But then how do you believe in Jesus? I said, is there any copyright or what? I believe in him also, I believe in him also. So then, I said, I am two in one. If you say like this, you will go to hell. I said, we'll meet there, have Satsang. You cannot be corrupted if you are firmly rooted in the absolute. The water can never be frightened by the ocean depths. And the water can never feel meek or miserable by being a dewdrop. It remains the same. In the same manner, hold on to this absolute and play the game of life. And what is that game of life is indicated in these verses. We'll see them tomorrow. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.